Okay. Look who's back in my apartment. Welcome back. I hope you sit comfortable, have a nice drink. Today, we're gonna finally start on one of the projects that has been on my to-do list for the longest time. We're finally gonna start on a lampshade for my living room. It's a nice Sunday. It's too warm to be outside anyway, so I think it's a perfect moment to start. I don't really have a plan. I just have an idea, and I have crepe paper, I have hot glue, I have something to work on. Maybe I should get some water. Okay, now we have all the materials. Let me just give you an overview of what my idea is. I'm pretty sure you have seen these cloud looking like paper lamps. I think even IKEA has a version of it. I think they're super fun, but at the same time chic enough to stay like in the living room, especially with high ceilings. The only thing, I'm not the biggest fan of the randomly crumpled paper look, but I've done some extra research and I came across this very beautiful idea of a flower that is opening up. And I think that's the perfect level of whimsy for my apartment. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I have more or less an idea of how we're gonna achieve this, and that's what we're gonna roll with and see how far we get with it. So let's start and actually measure the size of my lamp. I'm standing on my couch, which is of course very professional. I think what I've seen on the internet is mostly like 50 centimeters, which is gonna be too small for what I want. And I think we need at least double the size. So like maybe a meter. I think that would be pretty. Like a very big lamp, don't you think? Is that too big? Fly, come on, go away. Fly. Did this fly die on my lamp attached to the cord? Okay, let me remove that real quick. This might be very disgusting for some, but I'm fascinated how preserved this fly is. I'm very, very sorry, man. I'm sorry for the cord that I put in there. Apparently that's the best fly trap. So, a win is a win. Okay, back to business. If we want to have a 1 meter wide lamp, my petals should be around like 50 centimeters. But because I think it's such a big lamp, I don't want to just attach them to the cord itself, but instead make a little foundation where they can be attached to, so it holds it up a little bit more. Not sure if this is big enough. I have some other leftover paper somewhere, so we're just gonna try and see. If anyone is interested in following along, grab a circle. Circle? Is that what the English word is for this? Maybe. I also don't remember the last time I used one. Quick change of plans. I think this is actually too small because I think I want to have at least a circle that is like, what, 30 centimeters wide. So I have this old other piece of cardboard and I think we're going to use that instead. So let's measure 15 centimeters. Guys, 26 it is. That's all I have. It will be fine. Thank you for your service. Let's just go ahead and cut it up. Of course, we need to make sure that we can actually attach this to the lamp. So in my case, I just took off this closing ring from my lamp socket and I will just make sure that I'll mark down this size of it here. It doesn't need to be 100% perfect. And we just cut this out so this way we can ensure that we can actually attach it to the lamp. This is also the perfect moment to turn on your hot glue gun. Always measure if it actually works. Well, looks successful to me. Of course, I want to cover this up a little bit, so I'm going to use some of the crepe paper that we have. We have tons of crepe paper. I ordered these online, didn't like them first, returned them, but they didn't want to have it back. So, and then I have two different types of colors here. I think I should have just gone for the slightly off-white version, but we're going to put some dimension in it. It's fine. It's a creative project. I'm going to use this one to cover up this circle, which it almost fits perfectly. Maybe I should make the circle just a tiniest bit smaller. Nah, it's fine. We can just do 2 layers. And as you can see, my hot glue gun is on fire already. I'm just gonna go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? this is what we have. We don't want to talk about the back, but this is going to be on the top, so no one's going to see it anyways. In general, this will be covered in petals anyways. It's just to make sure that we don't see like brown cardboard. The first part is done. Let's actually continue with the petals. Yeah, let me just quickly jump in here. Before I lose anyone, let me give you an overview of what I'm doing. Imagine the graphic at the top being our lamp foundation, as well as the rough size of the petals I want. As I said, I want the biggest petals to be roughly 50 centimeters big, but then I also want to include another layer of petals of only 40 centimeters. That means that we need individual sheets for the largest petals with a length of 50 times 35 centimeters, as well as some sheets in the size of 40 times 30 centimeters for the smaller petals. When it comes to assembling, I would like the first layer of my lamp, so what you see when you stand right underneath, to show a flower with a 6-petal outline. But to give it a bit more volume, I will include 2 sets of larger petal sheets, meaning we need 12 sheets in total, as well as 2 sets of medium petal sheets, so another 12 sheets. Then for the second layer, the one that we will put on the back side of the foundation that we just made, I will again include 2 sets of larger petals. I know I only drew 1 here, but in the end I choose to take 2 sets, meaning we need another 12 large sheets. And if that was not enough, I decided to add smaller petals right at the end just to fill any gaps. I think 5 sheets will be enough, but we can always add more. And finally, and I'm so sorry for my camera, I also want to include some flower stems in the middle just for the extra bit of detail. I will just keep some paper on the side for that. In total, that leaves us with a small piece of paper for the stems, 5 sheets of paper for the smallest petals, 12 sheets for the medium petals, and 24 sheets for the largest ones. It is getting so freaking hot right now, but we're not gonna stop. We're finally gonna start with our petals. Lucky for me, they're already 50 centimeters high, long, but you know, let's measure because we'll have some trust issues. Yeah, okay, it's even a little bit bigger. But actually, it is quite thin, so I'm not sure if this will hold up anyways, but okay, that seems rather stable. More stable than my life sometimes. Anyways, if the big petals need to be 35 centimeters wide and we need 24 of them, that means we could just cut them out in a total of 840 centimeters, which of course these rolls are 2.50 meters, but if we then divide it by 4, that is 210, so that would be perfect. So basically one roll could finish 1 layer, one of the like 4 layers that we need. So I think I'm gonna just measure them up like this, fold it, draw the petal on it, and then just cut them out. I think that's the most efficient way to do this. Yeah, let's go. Hi, me again. Before anyone comes for me, of course there's also the option to just fold the paper already, making sure that each layer is 35 or 30 centimeters wide. In my case, my paper was so light and flimsy, it was painful to work with, so I chose to measure each sheet individually. But if you have more stable paper, then save yourself some time and just fold it like an accordion and then cut out the petals directly. I now have 21 individual petals in theory, still need 3 more. I'm gonna do that real quick. And then we're gonna continue with the smaller version, so the 40 centimeter ones. What my idea is, I'm just gonna take 3 of the large petals out of this roll, cut them off, put them on this pile, and then measure 10 centimeters down, cut it off here, and then repeat the same process, 30 centimeters this time. And also do this with the last layer, 30 centimeters times 20, and then we can start drawing the actual petals. Given that this is 10 centimeters long, this is perfect for the small piece that we need for the little parts in the middle. So we don't need to worry about that anymore. So now we have 24 large petals, we have 12 medium petals, and we have the small petals. Right now we have 2, but I'm gonna cut the other remaining ones once this is all done, because these are more for decoration if needed. And we have like all this left over that we can use for the inside petal stems. What my plan is now, I'm gonna take this folded pile of petals, draw the form on it and cut it out so that we have like all the individual ones. Gonna do the same for the large ones, and then we're gonna put them all together.
Another small note for me, I highly recommend drawing a sketch beforehand and using that to map out your petals. Instead of sketching them directly on the paper, this will help you to avoid any unnecessary lines on the final paper. Also, make sure to include a small connecting piece at the bottom. This will make the following steps so much easier.
You might notice a change in light. I had to take a break, it got too hot. But I did cut out the large leaves, so we have them all here. They're still together in a row. And we have the medium ones over here. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna cut them into groups of 3. So always count 1, 2, 3, and then cut it through here. And then we layer them on top of each other, glue them together, sew them together, and then we can finally assemble them on the lamp. 1, 2, 3. Here we have the medium and the large petals, and for the sake of this video we're going to just focus on the medium ones for now, but you're going to repeat the same for the large petals. What we're going to do is we're going to take one group of 3, lay it out flat, and then take a second one and layer it on top, but with a slight delay. And now all we have to do is glue it together. I'm taking this time a normal glue stick. Take whatever you have at hand.
There's absolutely no need to be very precise with gluing the sheets together. It just helps to keep everything in place, especially as this paper is very thin and light. Just make sure that the individual petals are not exactly on top of each other, but that we can see them peeking through from behind. You can even increase the offset much more than I did. It really depends on how you want to design your lamp. And then feel free to cut off any excess paper at the end, keeping everything nice and clean. Once you glue together all the individual groups, grab a large and a medium set and put them on top of each other. Again, making sure that there's a little bit of an offset. Then glue together the bottom parts. Again, this does not need to be very precise because afterwards we're going to sew everything together, making sure nothing is going to fall apart. For me, the easiest method was to just fold everything up like an accordion. You can also just ruffle them together and use your needle to find your way. Just make sure to secure the yarn properly and repeat it with all the other groups. Now comes the fun part. Take a group and lay it in front of you, then gently stretch your paper to form your individual flower petals.
A little side note, don't rip on the paper too hard. We're just gonna round it out. It's a flower half, not similar petals. Things are broken if something happens. Just cut it off and no one will notice. I swear to God, it's so warm. But we're gonna finish this lampshade. We have right now 2 sets of petals that will be the bottom of the lamp. So basically what you see when you stand right underneath. Just waiting for the hot glue gun to get ready. And then we just hot glue it onto the plate. We're gonna attach another round of large petals on the back side, so it creates a little bit more volume on the top. And then once all of that is done, we're gonna just add some smaller petals here and there wherever we see gaps or we just wanna create a little bit more volume. And then we're almost done. Make sure to not cover up the hole where you have to push your lamp through, but you can put it pretty close. Worst case, we're gonna cut some off if it's too tight. Okay, time for the other side. I want to be completely honest, these are the last 2 pieces that I had left over from the rolls. Of course I could start a new one, but I think if we cut them in half, they're gonna be good as well. Like I'm just gonna put 4 of them in here for now and then decide if I need more. And then we're gonna put the little petal stems in as well, and then I think we should be fine. I have to say, I'm already really happy of how this is coming together. It definitely does look like a flower. Imagine lamp over there. It looks really nice. I actually am thinking about keeping it like this and just cleaning this up. The original plan was to take some of this, put it into pieces and put it around. I think we're gonna do it and see how it looks like. And if we don't like it, we don't have to touch it.
For the stems, just fold up the paper to reduce the amount of cuts that you have to make, and then cut 1/2 centimeter wide strips into the paper, of course not all the way to the bottom, and then when you fold it apart, you're already done with 80% of the work.
We're just gonna twirl them like this. As you can see, it has become dark. The sun literally just disappeared behind my neighbor's house. And I had to turn the lights on, which is kind of ironic given that we are building a lamp ourselves right now. If you ever try making this lamp yourself, I can tell you this will take like maybe 4 hours in total, like depending on like how fast you are. It could definitely be done in 3 if you really want to. In my case, I think I spent half of the day just lying on the ground, trying not to melt away. You can make smaller versions of it. I'm even thinking of using the leftover crepe paper for my nightstand lamps. I do have flowers on there, but I am not sure if I still like them. So maybe smaller versions of this would be very cute. And there's so many different designs. You know, there could be tulips or roses. You can also just use some spray color or even some blush to put it on the side of the petals. I think that would look very cute as well. But for my living room, I think white was the best option. But you know what? I can still change it later on if I feel like it. Okay, we're almost there. 3 more. We will attach it here, but just for the purpose of seeing how it will look, I'm gonna wrap it around the light bulb. If you actually decide to make a similar lamp, please make sure you get a light bulb that is not turning too hot. Don't want to be responsible for a fire anywhere. Okay, this is what it's gonna look like. Do we like it? Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's a nice detail. Makes it a little bit more floral. Moment of truth. Oh. Oh my god, it's exactly what I wanted. There's still glue hanging, I see. Oh my god. Do you see this? Can't you see what I see? This is the lamp that we just made. I mean, sorry, this is gonna blind you a little bit, but this is where you have the light bulb. It looks so cute and makes this room so bright. Well, it doesn't really look bright right now on camera. I have the option for a different lamp to actually change the colors. Let me show you. This is what it is when it's normal. Then you can make it a little bit more moodier, make it darker, or if you go really wild, you can also just adapt the color. You can just make it whatever you want to. This is so pretty.
I was swinging along, minding my business, when suddenly out of the blue, just like a present from heaven,
I have to say, I kind of nailed it. I'm so happy with the lamp. This lamp is exactly what I wanted for this space. It's the perfect mix of chic meets whimsical. And I'm so happy it looks both good in the middle of the night and day. Obviously, this is the next day. I just wanted you to see this in its full glory. And I've been literally just laying here all morning, staring up at this beauty. I do notice now with the heat in my apartment that some of the petals are starting to droop a little. So I think in the short run, I will just attach a little bit of wire in the infrastructure ensuring that the petals stay up, because otherwise also the light will just center too much on the couch. But really there is not much else that I want to change. So if you like the flower as much as I do, why not make one yourself? Maybe in a different color, maybe in a different size. The opportunities are endless. If you do so, please send me a picture. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you actually stayed until the end, leave me your favorite flower emoji in the comments. And with that, I'll see you next time. It would definitely help to have a ladder right now. Ooh, that was hot.
When suddenly out of the blue, beautiful, wonderful you